I think of this as a home dehumidifier for people who live with humidity rather than occasionally notice it. If you have a basement that smells musty after rain, a bedroom that gets sticky in the summer, or a laundry area where clothes take forever to dry, this fits that life really well. I am someone who wants something I can trust to run in the background, keep moisture under control, and not need babysitting every few hours. That is exactly where this unit makes sense. The design plays a big part in why I have stuck with it. It is a clean, matte white box that blends in with furniture instead of shouting appliance. The size matters in day-to-day use. It stands just under 21 inches tall, a bit over 13 inches wide, and only a little deeper than a foot. In real rooms, that means I can tuck it beside a sofa or next to a shelf without it hogging space. It rolls on small wheels that do not fight back on carpet, and at around 23 pounds I can carry it up and down stairs without planning a strategy. The handle up top has a soft, leather-like wrap that is easier on my hand than hard plastic. The build is on the lighter side. The tank and outer shell flex a bit if you squeeze them. It has held up fine for me, but it is not that heavy, industrial feel. The power cord and the drain hose could be longer. In my basement, I needed an extension to place it exactly where it worked best. Not a deal breaker, but worth noting if your outlets never line up with the corner that gets damp. Setup could not be simpler. Out of the box, I peeled off a bit of packing tape, leveled it on the floor, and it was running in a few minutes. No tools, no assembly. The filter slides out from the back and rinses clean under warm water. I have also vacuumed it with a small handheld when I did not feel like going to the sink. The control panel is plain language. Power, mode, fan speed, timer, and a sleep button that also locks the controls if you press and hold. The screen shows me the humidity I set and the humidity in the room, and there is a color bar on the front that changes with the condition of the air. Blue means it is dry, green means it is comfortable, and red means it is too humid. I did not think I would use that light at first, but it has become one of those instant glance checks I do when I walk by. Performance is where this thing earns its keep. On a damp day after a storm, I had my finished basement sitting at around 71% humidity. I shut the windows, set the KNKA At25 to continuous mode, and left it alone. By evening, the room was at 48%. The air felt lighter. The musty smell faded, and laundry that usually clung to moisture finally dried before bedtime. The pint rating matters here in a practical way. On paper, it can pull up to 34 pints of water from the air in 24 hours under wet conditions. That is a little over 4 gallons. In real use, when my basement is truly damp, I watch the tank fill quickly. The tank itself holds about 0.8 gallons, which means if I run the unit non-stop in a wet room, I would be emptying it every couple of hours. I did that the first day to get a feel for it, and then I attached the included drain hose and set it to empty into my utility sink. With the hose connected, this becomes a set and forget solution for me. I can go days without touching it, and it just quietly does the job. Noise is the other big thing. Dehumidifiers can get annoying in bedrooms. In sleep mode, this KNKA At25 drops to a low murmur that blends into the house at night. The spec sheet lists about 37 decibels at the quiet setting, and my experience lines up with that. I hear a soft airflow whoosh, but not a whine, and the panel lights turn off in sleep mode, so my room is not lit up. During the day, I usually run it on low fan. High fan moves more air as you would expect, but I only use it when the room is really damp. The modes cover different jobs. Dehumidification mode is my default. I set a target humidity, usually around 50%, and it cycles on and off to hold that line. Dry mode is great for laundry days when rain keeps me from using the backyard line. It runs more aggressively and pushes air more firmly across wet clothes on a rack. Continuous mode is how I handle the basement after heavy rain or when I am airing out a storage room. Everything is clear enough that I did not need the manual after the first day, though it does come with one if you want a quick reference. In day-to-day life, a few things stand out. The automatic shut-off when the tank is full just works. The unit stops, a light pops on, and I either empty the tank or check that the hose is seated properly. The automatic defrost has been helpful in my chillier storage room. I have not had frost build on the coils, and I did not have to do anything special in colder nights. The power outage memory saved me during a quick blackout last month. When power returned, the KNKA At250 came back with the same settings and kept going. The child lock is another small but appreciated touch. I have a niece who loves buttons, and this keeps the settings from changing when she starts exploring. I tested how it behaves across the house. In the basement family room, it handled a space that is a little under the rated coverage of 2,500 square feet and made a clear difference within hours, especially after storms. Upstairs in a mid-sized bedroom, I put it in sleep mode and set a timer to shut off in the morning. I woke up without that clammy feeling, and the room did not smell like a wet towel. In the laundry corner, dry mode cut drying time for heavy cotton shirts by a chunk. I do not measure by the minute, but the difference was obvious. In the kitchen, after a big soup cook with all the pots steaming, I ran continuous mode for the evening, and the windows cleared without leaving that sticky film. The filter has been easy to live with. I clean it about every 2 weeks during active season. It pops out with one hand. No screws. No tabs that snap off. Rinse, shake, slide back in. I appreciate that small maintenance like this does not turn into a project. Energy draw feels reasonable. I have not seen a spike on my utility bill, even when I let it run for long stretches in the basement with the drain attached. I like that the unit gives me enough control to either set a target humidity and forget about it, or run it flat out when I want faster results. There are a couple of things I would change. The plastic body could be more robust. It is held up for me, but it is light, and I am careful when I slide it around door frames. The cord and the hose should be longer. In some rooms, I had to position it based on outlet location rather than the absolute best airflow spot. A longer hose would also make it easier to drop into taller sinks without routing it around the back. A specific use case that has become routine for me is the rainy, weak laundry situation. When outdoor drying is off the table, I move a folding rack into the basement, switch the KNKA At250 into dry mode, and close the door. The room starts around 65 to 70% humidity. 2 hours later, the meter shows mid-50s. The air feels lighter, and shirts that used to stay damp till the next day are wearable by evening. At night, I sometimes roll it into the bedroom, hit sleep mode, set the target at 48 to 50%, and let the timer shut it down right before I wake up. The room never feels parched, and my sinuses are happier than when the air hangs onto moisture. There are also the small quality of life details that matter more over time. The display is bright enough to read during the day but not harsh at night, and the color bar has become a quick way to tell if I need to adjust anything. The wheels glide well on hardwood and do not mark the floor. The tank slides out smoothly and goes back in without wrestling the alignment. The top surface is flat and does not collect dust in weird grooves, so a quick wipe keeps it looking clean. All of this adds up to a device that stays out of my way. To wrap this up, I think the KNKA At250 is a strong fit for people who want a reliable, quiet dehumidifier for basements, bedrooms, and laundry, spaces up to around 2,500 square feet. It pulls moisture fast, it stays quiet enough for sleep, and it has the right conveniences like a simple drain option, automatic defrost, and power outage memory. If you want a unit that looks tidy in a living room corner and does not need constant attention, this is easy to recommend. If you need something built like a tank, or you have a very large open floor plan beyond the rated coverage, you might want a larger or more industrial unit. For my home, this strikes the right balance of performance, noise, and everyday ease. If this video helped you, please subscribe to the channel and leave a comment with your questions or your own experience with humidity at home. Thank you for watching.